Hey guys, well I'm not at National this week, but I am trying to make just my videos that I do throughout the week. I just enjoy this part of it anyway, interacting with you. I can't be there in person with everyone. Certainly gonna miss that interaction. Wish I could be there. I'll watch it from afar. Um, I had plans to do somebody else for my Hall of Fame binder uh, project this week, but with Ryne Sandberg's passing, I thought it was fitting to do him. You know, I grew up in Iowa and Illinois as a kid, and until I was about uh, 13 or 14, I guess. And then so he was such an icon in that part of the country. You know, he was the Cubs kind of star, and I know they had some other guys. They had the Hawk, and they had Mark Grace, and they had all these other great players. But really, Ryne Sandberg, as I remember it, was kind of the top one in that group. And I was kind of surprised. I guess I didn't know, but as I was doing research for this, that he was drafted by the Phillies. I always thought of him as Cubs. He's a lifelong Cubs guy, and of course he really was in most uh, most ways. But he was drafted by the Phillies. You know, he had in high school he had committed actually to play college. He was college football. He was a great football player. He was a good basketball player. Like a lot of these athletes, you know, he could play them all. But baseball was his passion, and so when he had the opportunity to go into play for the Phillies organization, he did that. They of course eventually traded him. Although before they did, his first major league hit was at Wrigley Field, and I think that's pretty cool. That Ryne Sandberg playing for the Phillies, his first hit in the major leagues was playing against the Cubs. So anyway, so he gets traded to the Cubs, and things kind of start slow. But as they begin to pick up, he certainly garners a lot of respect, and the Cubs fans really like having him there. But it wasn't until 1984 when he really uh, began to draw national attention. There's a specific game, it's called the Ryne Sandberg game, by a lot of Cubs fans and a lot of other people as well. It happened on June 23rd in 1984. They were playing against the Cardinals, and uh, Ryne Sandberg hit two home runs in that game. He went 5 for 5. One of those home runs was in the 10th inning. They had basically written off the game. The Cardinals, Willie McGee, I believe, is the one who had homered in the 10th inning to take the lead, and then they just kind of just I guess they just assumed the game was going to be over, but he tied it up. Ryne Sandberg did in the 10th, and just an incredible game. He was of course the MVP of the game, most valuable player of the game. But then as that season carried on, his season just got better and better, and he became the MVP. So in 1984, Ryne Sandberg won the MVP. Um, he he had a lot of good seasons after that. In some ways, he had better seasons, but just there's a lot of competition for the MVP, obviously. But you know, he was a 10-time consecutive All-Star, 9-time Golden Glove winner, 7-time Silver Slugger. Just a fantastic player. Of course, his number is retired by the Cubs. He's in the Cubs Hall of Fame. He's got a statue, and of course, elected into the Hall of Fame. It took them a few years, which seems kind of crazy looking back on it, but I just love I love having his cards. I love being able to collect them. Just he's very much one of those players that brings me back to my childhood. So let me show you a few of those cards, and then we'll wrap this up. All right, let's start with his 84. This would be his MVP year. Um, so that in itself, I suppose, makes it one of his cards that's up for consideration. It's not the card I have in my binder, but anyway, I like these 84s. I've commented on this before. I think in the 80s, they seem to, I don't know, the backs on a lot of them seem very dark, and it's not that way in the 84, so I really like it. 85, actually 85 has a nice back as well. Nice, maybe it's in the 86 where they start to go wrong. Speaking of the 86, I love his 86 card. Big smile on his face. You know, I listened to his Hall of Fame speech. I like to do that if I can, and taught so much about respecting the game, and it's just a great speech. Enjoyed hearing him talk about that, and he certainly did play a different style of baseball in many ways than the guys who play today. But the 87, great action shot. Funny enough, I do not have his 88 or his 89, but I do have his 90, and that's the one that's currently in my binder. Mostly just because I think this is a fantastic card. I love the color on the outside of the 90. Love how it matches the blue on their uniforms. Just a great card. And actually, his 91 is great as well. This is one of the horizontal cards. Great action shot of him through the swing. Just a great card. So those are the Sandbergs I have. I'm obviously missing a few of his. I don't have anything past the 91. Missing a few of them from in the 80s. But as I've said before, if you have some thoughts about a good card to put in my binder, please let me know. Any other cards of his, Topps Base are pretty much what I use for my binder. Actually, exclusively what I use for the binder itself. But if you have anything, any recommendations, thoughts, maybe just a word of appreciation about Sandberg. He'll be missed. He was a great advocate for the game and for the Cubs, and so anyway, I'll end this there. I will leave some links in the description for my Hall of Fame binder project. If you don't know what that is, you can kind of check that out. Go back to where all this started. I will be making another video later on this week to show some things that I've grabbed. Some stuff I'm pretty excited to show you, but we'll end this one here for now, and we'll see you next time.